What's going on? I don't even know if anybody, it's been so long, I don't even know if anybody will come in here. But I am picking my kids up from school and I'm trying to get back into streaming here. My life's been crazy. Quick update on me: graduated college. That's part of why I've been MIA. Working a lot. Kids are going crazy all the time, running around, stuff like that. But there's one thing I want to talk about. You guys can shoot me whether you agree or not, right? So I have a Patriots sweatshirt on. A disclaimer: it's my husband's. I hate the Patriots. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Yes, we lost again. Hi, Tia. I'm back. So I want to talk to you really quick because I only got 10 minutes and then I'm going to do a longer stream later. Liberty. But I need to know what you guys think about the Evan. So I've been following the Evelyn, Boswell case since it happened back in February in 2020. I watched all of the trial. And my boss is like, "You've had an off couple of weeks." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know why." But yeah, I do know why. It's because I've been following the Evelyn Boswell trial. But I also want to make a disclaimer too. Sometimes, you might see me in chats and stuff, but niceness kills. Remember, like, being nice is where it's at. I haven't changed who I am, though. Okay, that was my brief disclaimer. But anyways, back to Evelyn. So what ended up coming out was that Evelyn was actually basically, I mean, in my opinion, thrown in the trash by her mother. I do not believe that she was dead when she was put in the trash. My theory is that Maggie, however you call her, Megan, was a hot mess express and she wanted to be free. And so I think she didn't have the guts to kill her up front. If you don't know who Evelyn is, I should probably start there. She was a 15-month-old that, hey, Laura victims, that was found in the trash can. It's absolutely one of the most heartbreaking stories I think I've ever seen in the true crime. And we've seen a lot of crappy stuff. So I think that Megan couldn't kill her because I do think there was an ounce of that she loved her in a weird way. And I think that what happened was she put her in the trash can and she died in there. Now, she had 4 methods of asphyxiation. Okay, she was put in the trash can in a way that it was like a backwards S shape, which would have caused asphyxiation. She had aluminum foil. There was things that they didn't bring it up in the trial, but that she had aluminum foil in her mouth. But it was so much so that you could see the imprint on the foil. It was so like wrapped around so tightly. She was covered in foil. That caused asphyxiation. She was also had a blanket wrapped around her tight enough that caused asphyxiation. And then there was one other, I'm trying to remember what the other one was. It was her positioning. There was multiple ways. There's one other I think I'm forgetting. So we all know Megan went on for 2 months, Punkette, and was never found until, thank goodness, Megan's dad calls in, and reports that, hey, check the shed. So what we find out in the trial, and we'll talk about this more later to get everybody's thoughts, because my kids are gonna eventually pop in the car here, but what ended up coming out was that she's guilty, right? The jury found her guilty. Didn't take them long to deliberate. Took them about like 6 hours, and found her guilty. We see Evelyn's grandma, Angela, which would be Megan's mom. Hey, Blissful, up there talking, crying. I failed as a mother, all this stuff. And so the jury gives her life in prison with eligibility of parole in 51 years. At first, I was super, super angry about this because I was like, how could you ever give her parole? But here's one thing that struck me last night as I thought about this. Now, I want to make sure I am completely transparent in saying she is evil. There is no way, shape, or form that she deserves to breathe life after what she did to that baby. But a couple things alarmed me. So Megan was put into foster care when she was pregnant for Evelyn, when she was 17 years old, for truancy. But it was wild to me because the one thing that the foster mother said to me was that she had lice so bad that her hair was matted down and you couldn't get a comb through it. In fact, she said there wasn't even like a hairdresser or anything that would try to get them out. It was so bad. She had to hire somebody to come to her church and give her a bob. And even after that, it took 3 weeks to get the lice out of her hair at 17. We know the conditions that Megan ended up living in was atrocious. There was, after she got out of foster care, there was milk in the oven. There was, I mean, the filth is beyond belief. But my biggest thing, and we know her parents were out of control, right? Her parents were terrible, Megan's parents. And what I think happened after Megan got out of foster care is that Tommy Boswell Sr. had some money. And so what he did then is he constantly bailed her out of things. He bought her a car. He did anything, got her a place to live. Like anything Megan needed, he did. But that didn't take back for the fact that her entire life was a train wreck. But my point is, I want you guys to think about this, and we're going to talk about it later. She's 17 and so mentally not picture. Okay, so my daughter had lice she got from her basketball team, and it was horrifying. Just one, and it was horrifying, and to get it out was horrifying. Can you I know, Lord, well, we're back, we're kicking now, we're jamming. Can you imagine being 17 and you don't comprehend how bad your lice is, that it's matted to your head, and that your parents are forcing you to go to school so you don't get taken away on truancy, but yet neither one of her parents could understand that her lice was so bad it was matted to her head? Like, there has to be something that's not clicking in there. And so somewhere, I think, had Megan stayed with foster mom, I think the outcome, well, I don't think we would have had this outcome, because she was in a very structured environment with the foster mom. She got along with the foster mom. Her foster mom said she was no problem at all. They bonded. She had structure. She was amazing to Evelyn. And then Tommy wanted her, and she slowly started doing visits and went back to her family. But my point is, I want you guys to think about this, because I want to come back and talk about this, because we're going to do a more deep dive into it. I know the case is pretty much shut and stuff, but I think like part of this is understanding like what happened. Like, clearly this girl was failed on more levels than we can even possibly understand. Like, can you imagine being 17? A lot of women in here, can you imagine being 17 and having lice so bad that your hair's matted down and you don't spend every day like trying to like, we would try to shave our head or do anything because we'd be horrified of it. So I don't know what ticked in her head that was like okay with that. Yeah, Punkette, we're going to talk all about it. This was actually the first true crime case that really got me into true crime. And I noticed in the past few days, my anger towards Megan was like, I want you to die. But then I started to look at some of the, like, let's deep dive into the mental that went on in her. Let's deep dive into the family and see what caused this. Because I think part of true crime should be trying to stop things like this from happening. And one way I think we can do that is by figuring out what's causing these things. So think on that. Tonight, I'm going to be rolling back out live. Let's see, I got a basketball game at 6. So around 9, I'm going to be rolling back out live. And I'm not on YouTube, but I think like I want to get back to doing good. And I think this can be used as good, and we can do true crime and we can explore topics too. And I think a big topic is that Megan clearly has a mental illness. She's narcissistic. I think it's pretty safe to say I always get these confused, sociopathic. But let's really unravel some of this case. Not just let's watch the trial and talk about it. We're going to watch pieces of the trial, but like, what happened here? And is there a point where her parents are held accountable? Like she was an adult. I get all that. For me, like, don't get up there now, mom, and cry that you've failed her as a mother. Yeah, it's all easy to say right now that you failed her as a mother, but I don't know. It's weird. Obviously, the parents aren't held accountable. She's an adult. Many of us have grown up with crappy lives. We don't go on to kill our children. But I think there was more there because that lice thing has stuck in my head that I can't get out because that's not a 17-year-old girl. And I don't know if there's a disconnect in CPS or foster care system or what, that wasn't a red flag. And I understand Megan wanted to go back after the 4 months to her dad, but really, at what point do we stop that in the system and say, no, she's not, 4 months isn't ready. If not for her baby that was born. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. My kids are coming out, but I'll see you guys tonight. I'm so excited. Talk to you later. Bye.